1 hour ago, I just returned from making my report to my rheumatologist, and now I'm going to make my 3-month report to you. That is 3 months on Rinvoq, the positives and the negatives. So I'm not going to keep you hanging. How do I feel 3 months after beginning Rinvoq? I feel great. I feel better than I did 1 month after taking Rinvoq. But this 3-month journey has not been without its challenges. And we're going to talk about those challenges. But first, I still have no chronic pain. None. I have no plantar fasciitis. I have no soreness in all of those joints that were bothering my shoulders, my elbows, my spine. Everything is A-OK. I get out of bed without a cane. Within 5 to 10 minutes, I'm off walking, doing whatever I want to do for the day, and I stay very active. I don't even take naps. I don't even take naps anymore. And yes, people still say that I'm suffering the Benjamin Button syndrome. I seem to be getting younger. And now for some of the challenges. I've already reported that my asthma was a little tweaked after taking Rinvoq, and I needed to use my inhaler a little bit more. This has made me aware of people with respiratory ailments, that is specifically those who are coughing, who are sick around me, and I've taken extra precautions to stay away from them. And I keep a COVID mask handy in my bag just in case I need it, and I recommend that highly, whether on Rinvoq or not. Stay away from sick people, for goodness sakes. I had a real problem with the flu. Even though I took the precaution of getting the flu vaccine, I must have been around someone with the flu, and I came down with it, and it was a doozy. And accompanying that flu, I had a massive inflammatory attack. Now, Rinvoq's not going to protect you from those kind of things. And yeah, it was bad. And I thought, oh no, the medication's already failing. But in fact, with the symptoms of the flu, the inflammatory symptoms also went away, and I'm back to normal. I feel great. Number 2, I got headaches. So beginning the 2nd month, I found myself getting headaches. They weren't severe. They weren't migraine headaches. They weren't debilitating, but they were headaches, and I never get headaches. So I had a strong feeling it was due to Rinvoq. They gradually went away. Like I said, they weren't severe. They never caused me to take a Tylenol or any kind of medication, and they did gradually go away over 2 weeks. Number 3, I get blemishes. Like, I'm an older gentleman, and I have a good cleanliness regimen, but I get the occasional blemish. And when I say a blemish, it's not a blackhead, I'm going to be frank, it's a big one. And I'm like, where on earth did that come from? Well, I've upped my skin regimen even more. I've gone back to what I used to do as a teenager, just to be on the safe side. It's nothing I can't handle. It's nothing, in fact, that anyone has recognized as a problem. Nobody's really noticed, but I know. So you should know too. It is a side effect, and sometimes I do know that people on Rinvoq can have acne problems. I'm not one of those people, but it has caused more blemishes and appears more oily skin. Finally, the biggest challenge. So, as most of you know, that first month was great. I was smooth sailing. I felt great. Christmas was approaching, and I was so anxious because for the first time in 15 years, I was going to have a Christmas without chronic pain. Well, I must have been a bad boy this year because Christmas Eve at 3 o'clock, I received the coal. I received an email from the supplemental insurance telling me that they would not accept my doctor's authorization for Rinvoq. Well, you can only imagine how I felt. I felt sick. So a little sideline here. I'm Canadian and I live in British Columbia. So some of you may not know who don't live in Canada. Canada has a national health care, and the health care is specifically managed by each province. So we are guaranteed health care. Also, many of us have supplemental health care to pay for those things that our national healthcare system may not cover, specifically medications. So, it was the supplemental insurance that was not happy. They were not happy about the price of this, I suppose, or the esoteric nature of the medication. So that email said they would not honor my rheumatologist's authorization to use the medication. And they offered an alternative medication, a biologic, which I had just come off of. That was the whole reason I was on Rinvoq. I reacted in a very responsible manner. I said in an email, you have no idea how I'm feeling right now before this Christmas season, before this Christmas holiday. I've gone so long without chronic pain. And now I need to face the possibility that I'm going to be living with chronic pain again. Well, of course, this sad Christmas story has a really good ending. And it has an important lesson, I think, for all of us, especially those of us with chronic diseases and autoimmune diseases and ankylosing spondylitis in particular. I not only gave my personal feelings in a responsible way, I also knew about how Rinvoq worked. I'd done my research. I'd done my homework. I saw the alternative medication that was recommended, and I knew that that was not an alternative to Rinvoq. Rinvoq is not a biologic. It operates in a different way. It is a JAK inhibitor. And I wrote that down in the email, and I said, there is no substitute for Rinvoq at this time. Well, here in Canada, we have Christmas, and then we have another free day called Boxing Day. England is the same way, the UK. So after Boxing Day, I opened up my emails, as I usually do, at 9 o'clock in the morning, and there was a response. We have honored your appeal. I didn't know I'd filed an appeal, but it turns out my email was the appeal. They said that a panel of pharmacists had met, and I was in fact correct, that they would recognize my doctor's authorization and that every year he would need to resubmit, which most of our doctors do anyway, for our biologics. So, all's well that ends well. Or so I thought. Supplemental insurances, much like in the United States, are for profit. So even though we have a national national guarantee for health insurance, the supplemental is a for-profit. And they don't want to pay for that. So just to let you know, my strong recommendation is that if you're taking Rinvoq or any esoteric drug, know what you're taking and know how to defend it. They're expensive. They're not cheap. And you may be challenged by your insurance company. Know how to speak about your drug. Know how it works, the basics. Know if they recommend an alternate. Know enough to say, no, that is not an alternate. This is how my medication works. And that's the lesson. That's the Christmas lesson I'm going to bring to you right now. Know and be responsible for yourself. Yes, we're patients, but we are responsible for our own health and our own health care. our doctors, our health, health professionals, they serve us. Make sure you understand that. Finally, at the end of my 3-month follow-up with my rheumatologist, who was absolutely, he was delighted at the success of Rinvoq. Couldn't believe it, and I kind of showed off a little bit in the office and did a few squats and, raised my legs really high to show how my range of motion was so great, etc. At the end he said, "So why do you think you've had such success?" And I said, "I think I've been so successful because I was healthy going into this. I had a good diet, that diet that is a modified Mediterranean diet, primarily fruits and vegetables, high in fiber, with some cold water fish for those omega-3s. I keep my stress at a minimum. I push away stress in my life, as many people know who know me well. I get my sleep. I keep myself active. And these variables of health, they haven't changed. They're still the same on Rinvoq. And I believe if you are contemplating Rinvoq or any esoteric drug, to get yourself in the best health condition possible so your body can respond to it in the best possible way. I think that is truly the secret behind my success with this amazing medication. Now, I don't know if it's going to last a year or 2 years or 3 years. I don't know. But I know today I feel great. My friends, stay healthy. Take care of yourselves. You know what to do. You don't need anyone to tell you. You've heard it many, many times. Take care of yourselves. Show that self-care. Be kind to each other. Avoid the pressures that are going on in the outside world. Keep the stress to a minimum. Show compassion for each other, and you will feel compassion for yourself. Peace and all good. Ciao.